Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I got another episode of the biggest robberies in boxing. And if you're new to the channel, this is a series where I rewatch and rescore the controversial fights of the past to see who really won the fight. And today, in lieu of Canelo's return to the ring in a couple of weeks time, I got his head on the chopping block with today's episode. Now, in the previous episode, I said that Pacquiao is probably the most robbed legend or has had the most controversial fights in their career. But you know what? I think Canelo actually has a claim for that spot. But I digress. This episode is of course on Canelo's most controversial fight, and that is of course his first fight with Triple G. Now this is the second time I'm actually watching this fight. I watched it live back then, but never watched it again. But I do remember thinking that Triple G clearly won. But you know, as always, it doesn't really matter what I thought then because I watched the fight as a fan. Today I'm watching the fight with the intent to score, and with all that being said, I'm gonna get right into it. Now the first round I actually gave to Canelo. You know, Triple G started off very strong. He was stalking Canelo, pumping the jab out. He looked as though he was ready for a scrap right away. Canelo started off mobile, a little bit inactive for the first half of the round, but then he started catching Triple G with his own jabs, and he stood his ground and started letting his hands go. I thought Canelo looked sharper. His shots would snap Triple G's head back. You know, it just looked cleaner. His shots just looked cleaner. He also countered Triple G 2 or 3 times. In contrast, I thought a lot of Triple G's punches were blocked. It was a close round. The punch stats show that Triple G landed more, but you know, even Max Kellerman said it himself. I didn't see Triple G land more. That's what he said, and I'd have to agree with that. But it was a close round, but I'm still giving it to Canelo. The second round I also gave to Canelo. The first half of the round was a chess match. Both were trying to figure each other out. Good defense showcased by both, you know, good counter punching as well. But Canelo was a little quicker and slicker than Triple G. So he was slipping and countering. It was just more active. He landed more in this round and landed power punches too. So far, Triple G is making a living off of jabs, but Canelo is landing more significant shots. And with that, he started to build momentum, which lasted till the end of the round. So for me, Canelo wins this round as well. Now, round 3, Triple G started the round very strong. He came out very aggressive and started to double and triple up the jabs. I don't think Canelo was expecting it. Canelo was boxing well in this round as well, but I saw this round as a reverse of the first round, where this time around I saw Triple G landing cleaner, whereas most of Canelo's shots were blocked or parried. He did land a couple of body shots and uppercut, but I like Triple G's work more, so this is Triple G's round. Round 4 is also Triple G's round. It was a good round for him. The pressure that we all know him for has finally come out. He was much busier than Canelo and even had him on the ropes for a little bit there. Though Canelo didn't look distressed on the ropes, he was letting Triple G work without shooting anything back. I saw both land solid shots in this round, but Triple G's activity wins him the round. Now, round 5 was a very entertaining round thanks to both refusing to back down. A very good round for Triple G. Don't get me wrong, Canelo, you know, 3 or 4 flush shots on Triple G he landed. A couple jabs and a couple right hands from Canelo, but Triple G landed 2 big right hands in this round. He landed a lot of jabs as well. He was just much busier. I'm easily giving this round to Triple G. And round 6, another round for Triple G. It definitely looks as though Triple G has all the momentum now. Canelo is still in this fight. He's landing his own damaging blows. He's landing counters and power shots, but Triple G is just simply outworking him. He's landing his own power shots, but more of them and more jabs. He's also the clear ring general, and Canelo is showing signs of frustration, like hitting Triple G when he had him in a headlock. You know, obviously that's a clear foul, but to be fair, Triple G threw a light shot back just to show him that he is not to be played with. So I really like that. But anyways, it's a Triple G round. And we off to round 7, and again I have Golovkin winning this round. Canelo tried to show more aggression right off the bat, but Golovkin didn't back down. He threw his own combo right back to kill any hope of Canelo building confidence and momentum. And you know what? It worked. Triple G went back to being the stalker, and he landed a big right hand at the 1 minute and 40-second mark on top of many jabs and several straight rights and hooks. Canelo just isn't doing nearly enough to win these rounds. That makes it 5 rounds in a row for Triple G. But you know, the streak ends right here. because Canelo wins round 8. It was a good round for both. Lots of landed punches in this round for both men. Triple G was more active. He landed lots of jabs in this round, but I think I'd have to very narrowly give this round to Canelo. His shots were more eye-catching in my opinion. They traded uppercuts as well. You don't see many of that in fights in the same round. A very, very close round. So I wouldn't be mad at anybody who gives this round to Triple G. But for me, I thought Canelo just about edged it. But round 9, Golovkin gets it back and he wins the round. He showed great defense and offense. Blocked majority of Canelo's shots, and his pace, tempo, pressure, intensity, and work rate remains at a very, very high level. Canelo did land his best punch of the fight so far in this round, but Triple G's steady work won him this round. Golovkin's defense and chin is one hell of a combo, man. Very good round for Triple G despite getting hit by Canelo's money punch. Now round 10, I thought Canelo won it. A strong opening minute for Canelo. He just unloaded on Golovkin. He wanted to win some respect back, so he just let his hands go. He just let it fly. He did appear to gas after the first minute though. He went on his bike and started pot shotting and counter punching, which was a clever move on his part in my opinion. Golovkin also had his moments, but I say this was a clear Canelo round. Now round 11, we're getting into the championship rounds. I thought it was a very, very close round. Triple G was the aggressor. He landed more jabs than Canelo. He was more active, but Canelo landed the more effective punches, the more eye-catching shots. He was having success counter-punching on the back foot. Like I said, this is a very close round, but I personally just preferred Canelo's cleaner eye-catching shots compared to Triple G's jab and activity. So round 11 goes to Canelo in my book. Now, the final round, round 12, Canelo started off strong again, throwing flurries and catching Golovkin with a good uppercut. And it looks as though Triple G just can't match Canelo's pace when he decides to go toe-to-toe. Canelo's hands are too fast and his punch variety is too much. The way I saw this round was that Canelo dominated the first minute, like just straight up dominated with flurries. But Golovkin won the final 2 minutes with pressure and jabs and ended the fight very strong. He landed 2 or 3 in the final seconds. So it's a tough round, another tough round to score. Both has a case to win the round, but I thought Canelo's moments were flashier, more eye-catching, and more damaging. So I'm going to have to give the 12th and final round to Canelo. So I don't know if you guys have been tallying my score as I go through the rounds, but my scorecard reads 114, 114, a draw. I got it as a draw, people. I actually ended up agreeing with Don Trella's scorecard, which is very surprising because, on first watch, I really thought Golovkin won. But, hey, man, it really goes to show that you see things different as a fan and as a judge. But speaking of my scorecard, here it is. And as you guys can see, I thought Canelo started off strong. He won 2 of the first 3 rounds. But then Golovkin, he found his footing. He found his groove. He got a little bit more comfortable and got into his bag, which resulted in a 5-round win streak. He looked good. He had the momentum. He wasn't dominating, but he was winning a competitive fight decisively. But then Canelo started fighting with a sense of urgency. I think he knew he was losing, and that dog in him came out. That animal in him wouldn't allow him to just accept defeat. And so he finished the fight very strong. He found a new gear inside himself. Canelo looked exhausted from like the 9th round on, but he dug deep and he refused to lay down. He fought like his life depended on this win. Like I said, there were a couple of rounds in the second half of the fight, a couple of close rounds that I gave to Canelo. I thought he just about edged most of those rounds. So yeah, I feel as though I can see why most people had Triple G winning. For a good chunk of the fight, Canelo wasn't fighting like his usual self. He was on the move a lot. He wasn't engaging. He was boxing, which he doesn't really do. I guess people saw that as him being forced to fight like that because he couldn't hang with Golovkin. I also think that the rounds that Golovkin won, he won decisively and clearly. But some of the rounds Canelo won were 50-50 rounds. I think people saw Triple G's activity and applied pressure, and Canelo having his back on the ropes, and they thought that, yeah, Triple G is winning and he's winning big. I mean, I get it. I get that Triple G had more moments and better moments, honestly, but unfortunately, boxing isn't scored that way. Boxing is scored on a round-by-round basis, and in my opinion, both won 6 rounds apiece. 2 of Canelo's rounds, I will admit, were very close rounds, but I still thought that he did just enough to win them. But you know what? I love this fight. It's such a high-level fight. Both showed incredible defense and IQ. Both were very savvy. They showed that they've really mastered the sweet science, like subtle things like rolling with the punches. They both did this multiple times, you know, catching and shooting, counter punching, trap setting, punch anticipating, countering counters, adjustments, and both showed multiple layers of defense. I saw great head movement from both. I saw the shoulder roll, I saw the high guard, I saw slipping, blocking, parrying, bobbing and weaving, rope-a-doping. And the least talked about aspect of the fight is that clinching was kept to a minimum. You see, all these subtle things that the majority don't pay attention to, I saw them. I saw both land bombs. I saw both prove that they can take a punch. You can see their gears turning as they try to figure each other out. It was such a great fight, man. Another thing too is that HBO boxing, in my opinion, was peak boxing. I miss HBO. I miss the HBO squad so much. You know, this fight had Jim Lampley, Max Kellerman, and Roy Jones Jr. commentating, and it was such a great experience. I don't know what it is, but Triple G, sorry. But HBO boxing was just very, very special. But you know, ultimately, to answer the question, was Golovkin robbed? Well, if you consider the fact that Adelaide Bird scored the fight 118-110 for Canelo, I mean, 10 rounds for Canelo is absolutely insane. This guy Bird is just disgusting. If you consider that fact, then I would say yes. I would say that even before the fight, Bird already had Canelo winning. I would say that Bird was paid off. But in terms of actual scoring, I thought the decision was correct. You know, it was a draw, in my opinion. But, you know, I can also see it as a 115-113 win for Golovkin. You know, I could also agree with Dave Moretti's score. I could even see it as a 116-112 win for Golovkin. But I cannot see Canelo winning this fight at all. But, you know, that's it for me, guys. I've been yapping on too long. It was a long one. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm bugging? Let me know down in the comments below. And please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a lovely day. Thank you.
118-110 for Canelo? No, that did not happen. That is fiction, unfortunately.